All right. Peace, family. Assalamu alaikum, brother Reza Islam here. Listen, I procrastinated on doing this video. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually procrastinated because it's just so much, and I'm not even gonna get all of it in this video. There's too much, far too much to put in this video. But I went ahead and just did a little bit because we all need to know what's going on. So there have been many different situations, circumstances, and scenarios as it pertains to the children in this country, as it pertains to the LGBTQ, LMNOP, etc. in this community, and of course, pedophilia being normalized as well. So I just want us to all be very mindful that what you are witnessing is a breaking down of the mental faculties of the people, is an extermination of integrity, is a destruction of decency, of course, an absolute assassination of the familial sector, or the assassination of the family, man, woman, and children, etc., etc. And the overall agenda and idea and purpose, of course, is depopulation. This has nothing to do with what you feel. This has nothing to do with your personal choice or what you think is your personal choice, even though you, for the vast majority, are being mentally manipulated as well as chemically manipulated. This is far bigger than us as individuals. This has to do with the United States government. This has to do with what they are doing from the top down. And the intention, of course, is to get rid of 3 to 4 billion people on the planet. And if you want to be 100% technical, the international bankers want to have at least 500,000 people on the planet. They do not want the majority of human beings to live on this planet. So just wanted to go ahead and give that caveat, that little message beforehand so that you can understand. Once we delve into this, don't get mad at your brother. Just take notes. If you have a soft stomach, you might not be able to take this. If you get angry, wait and hold your anger to the end, because it's going to get heavy. Parents, watch this. I would advise you to not show your children, but if you want to, go ahead. We're about to go into this. Before we go into this, make sure you go to my website right now, RezaIslam.com, and order your copy of my first book. It is a lot of heavy, in-depth research. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of work, but I'm very, very, very thankful that I was able to put something together for you guys. So make sure you grab that ASAP. All right. Well, the first thing you might notice is, Reza, you are sitting in a vehicle. You are not standing up. You're not outside doing the videos the way that you normally do them. No, you're absolutely correct. I'm sitting down because the information is so damn ridiculous, so evil, so chicanerous, so backwards, so deplorable. I could not stand it. Literally. Pardon the pun. I'm not trying to be corny. I'm just telling you straight up. It was ridiculous. So I had to sit down. Let's begin with the over 100 genders that they are pushing from the United Kingdom, or should I say Europe, or should I say right near the caves where all of this behavior came from to begin with. They are pushing this insanity, saying that there are so many different genders, including two-person gender, two-spirited gender, neutroids gender. There are so many non-gender or non-gender conforming, or so many insane descriptions that have nothing to do with logic nor sanity whatsoever. And they are saying that they are doing all of this to make children comfortable in being who they are and creating a safe environment so that children can explore these things. Let me just make this very clear. There are no children on this planet, anywhere on this planet, who are talking about 100 different genders. It does not exist. You are lying. You are insane. And I'm saying you, meaning the people who are pushing this from the very top, because again, the overall agenda is what? Depopulation. It is coming from who? The international banking families of Europe. Yes. All right. So let us not get stuck in the emotion. Again, right now we need to put down our emotion, pick up our logic. Think with me, family. If you are in the LGBTQ community, think with me. Think with me here. Put down the sexual thirst and pick up the logical thirst. Think with me today, because I want us to understand that it's not about what you feel. It's about what they are planning to do. The thing of over 100 genders existing came from a Caucasian female teacher in Europe who said that she took a poll of a number of people who gave these different descriptions of the different genders that they felt they were. And so these different descriptions of a poll from these perfectly mentally sane people came out to be over 100 different genders. And all of these genders came up, of course, out of the minds of people, because this is what they felt like. So Brother Reza Islam, who is 6'7", 195 to 200 pounds, all muscle. If I feel like I am a Tyrannosaurus Rex as my gender, then I'm T-Rex Reza. Right. What this government has done a very good job of doing is making us highly irresponsible where children are concerned, or really where everybody's concerned, but children being highly impressionable, we're making it seem as though we can just do whatever the hell we want to do around children and they're not going to take it on. They're not going to duplicate it. They're not going to become intrigued at all and say, what's that? I think I might want to do that. I don't know, I might like that. Oh yeah, I think that's something I want to go ahead and try. You think children are not that impressionable? Well, I'll give you a perfect example really quick. Over in a British school in Britain, a whistleblower, a teacher who does not want to be named, who remained anonymous, stated that these children, 17 of them, who are undergoing transformation into a different gender, for the vast majority are autistic children. But because they were impressionable and because they were encouraged, and she said tricked into believing that they were a different gender of a different sex, these children are being mentally manipulated. And she spoke out, but of course she didn't have her face showing and she did not want to be named. So that's just a small example of what's happening on a larger scale, but I think we can go a little further. I find it very interesting that they're pushing this in schools, so I went ahead and did a little digging. So let's jump over to California. Assembly Bill 329, aka the California Healthy Youth Act, was passed, by which they are forcing the sexualization of children by pushing anal sex education, oral sex education, fisting, and of course pushing that there are at least 15 genders, including a unicorn gender, on children in sexual education, or should I say sexual indoctrination classes. As a result of this insanity, parents all across the state of California on September the 19th had a statewide sit-out of the sexual education classes. Y'all thought y'all was gonna get the parents to agree with this crap? Actually very proud seeing how so many parents are capitulating to this insanity. To see a lot of them to stand up and say, listen, we ain't going for that, makes me feel very good and should make all of us very happy to know that some of us still have integrity or ovarian audacity or testicular fortitude. Let's make it very clear, the parents have the right, the parents have the job, and the parents have the responsibility to go in depth about sexuality with their children. Let us make that very clear. These schools cannot teach your child cleanly, rightfully, logically about sexuality. Not entirely, especially not now. This is why parents are absolutely going crazy, because just so you know, it was passed in California, but the same thing that they're pushing in California is being pushed all across this country. I'm simply talking about California, but we're going to go into a whole lot more right now. 140 primary schools in the United Kingdom are teaching children as young as 6 and as old as 10 years of age how to touch themselves in bed. Woo, yeah, it's crazy as hell. It's crazy as hell. This is in Britain, and these classes are mandatory. Mandatory? Mandatory. Teacher by the name of Carol Ayala, who has been blowing the whistle on this infiltration of the minds of the children from pre-K to 12th grade, specifically as it pertains to the LGBTQ agenda coming from the government being pushed into schools.
Sent videos on YouTube, and you will see the following. You'll see a lesbian couple, a gay couple, a heterosexual, adults getting ready for sexual intercourse, kissing and undressing each other. The narrator makes the following comments. He says, sex is about connection and pleasure. Asking for consent can be kind of sexy. We all deserve a safe, pleasurable, and awesome sex life. Remember, this is for 12 to 14-year-olds. My comments for you as educational gatekeepers are these. Did you know that you were signing off on grooming 12 to 14-year-olds for sex? Why does Planned Parenthood have access to our kids without parents' permission? Notice the schedule your appointment line at the very bottom, along where it says that they take insurance. Who decided this was age appropriate? And how did they determine that? Why aren't the actors in the videos 12 to 14-year-olds? Could it be because of the age consent laws? And what are you going to do about it? Thank you.
Did you notice, and I'm not going to allow anyone to just simply go right past what she just said, did you notice how she said Planned Parenthood was behind sponsoring the education? And how they were giving these children pamphlets in the school without the parents' consent? Well, in California, they just passed something called Assembly Bill 4 $99. The government of California is now giving 12-year-olds the ability and the choice and the power and the authority to take vaccinations if they so choose, to have their medical information kept away from their parents and only they as 12-year-olds can see it, to give them contraceptives, to take and receive abortions if they so choose. 12-year-olds, and Planned Parenthood was the one sponsoring the education all the way in Texas. You see where it's going? Depopulation, depopulation, depopulation. And most of you should be asking this exact same question that I'm thinking in my mind right now, which is, who is funding all of this? Well, Reza went ahead and did some digging, and it just keeps saying privately funded. I wonder by whom. Let us go deeper, shall we? I find it funny that people say that Reza, they are not trying to influence children to do anything like this. They're not trying to get children to be indoctrinated to go into this high level of over-sexualization or homosexualization, etc., etc. Well, have you seen that trans cartoon on Netflix lately? Yes, it is called Super Drags, these superhero drag queens that are now being broadcasted on Netflix to over 190 countries in a beautiful representation of the LGBTQ pride. And oh man, this is so wonderful that they are now pushing this in a cartoon for children to watch on Netflix. Yeah. Reason you just need to be accepting of this. You just need to allow us to do whatever it is that we're going to do. We're not trying to put this on children. We're not trying to bring children into being a drag queen or to dress up in women's clothing and makeup, etc., etc. You just need to let us practice our insanity in peace. Let us practice our insanity in peace. We're not going to push this on children whatsoever, and they are not impressionable, and they are not being encouraged at all. No. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look. That's not influence at all. Oh, and by the way, all of you standing around, all of you who were standing around there watching this little boy doing this, encouraging him to do this, you're pedophiles. That's what pedophiles do. So how far is being a drag queen off from being a pedophile? RuPaul, the notorious drag queen himself, encouraged and praised an 11-year-young drag queen by the name of Desmond. And Good Morning America and all over different major networks, they are encouraging this little boy to dress up in drag. Even have something called drag